Record of Ragnarok Round 1 ended with humanity's defeat. However, the intense portrayal of the fight sparked excitement from the gods, seeing Zeus celebrating, and more importantly, Shiva who claims, "It's been a while since something has gotten my blood pumping like this." Brunhilde needs a win for humanity now, picking Adam as the second fighter. Shiva was meant to be the fighter for the gods in round 2, with even the announcer building up his entrance. However, Zeus showed up instead, leaving the Valkyries shocked and stating, "Why is the last boss popping up in the prologue? I never thought he would show up this early. I must admit, this was outside my expectations." Meaning Brunhilde, upon picking Adam, had the confidence that he could defeat Shiva, but the final boss Zeus is another issue altogether. Which brings us to today's question: who was Zeus meant to fight in Ragnarok? As Shiva claims that they decided he would go last, meaning between him and the other gods prior to the tournament, Zeus was meant to be the final fighter. So straight away we can cross out Lu Bu for obvious reasons. Sasaki, based on Brunhilde's perspective, wasn't someone she thought was at the peak of the verse, as when deciding who could fight Poseidon, he wasn't an initial option. Leonidas, Huang and Nostradamus were her picks, as potential the strongest she was already aware of, but he pretty much chose himself like a Chad and claimed victory, as we all know, so let's cross out Sasaki as a potential option. Jack was also set up by Brunhilde to fight his opponent Hercules prior to the tournament beginning. Jack's whole involvement was planned since the start. Raiden is someone I see a lot of people say was Zeus's opponent because of the fact Shiva ended up facing him in round 5, but if you consider Shiva's statement about Zeus fighting last, this likely isn't the case, and if we're being honest, he wouldn't really stand a chance against the likes of Zeus, completely different tiers of power. Buddha wasn't an option as Brunhilde didn't know he was going to switch sides when he did. However, they did almost fight in Ragnarok multiple times as I broke down in this video, so it could have actually happened and it would have been quite insane. Huang is a possible option I believe, as his fight was against Hades, who wasn't on the original fighter list, and the way Brunhilde chose him, Hades comes up as the fighter for the gods, with Gold freaking out of course, while Brunhilde this time remains calm and confidently chooses him as the fighter, a ruler for a ruler she claims, something that could also be applied to Zeus, and as I mentioned before, when she was scared of Poseidon coming out after Zeus, there was various comparisons between the two, and she did consider Huang as a possible option to fight him. However, I don't think this would be the best based on his showings. Yes, Huang is strong, closer to the top than the others, but Zeus is still a level beyond in my opinion. Tesla is someone I could also imagine. Teleportation versus time stopping would be crazy, but I don't see a clear connection between the two, and I do think Zeus will be the victor in this fight. This leaves us with the remaining fighters and one more, Siegfried, who was recently revealed in the manga, being introduced in this prison as someone who I would imagine is a top tier in overall power, but I don't think Brunhilde has him as one of the original fighters or a fighting option, or someone she was waiting to reveal to fight Zeus or anything like that. Characters who haven't officially appeared include Simo, Rasputin and Leonidas, so I guess they're all possible options, with Leonidas standing out more in fighting Zeus, as once again he was mentioned in that Poseidon panel. King Leonidas versus the supreme god of the Zeus, it would be quite wild. Rasputin I don't think would be an option, as it wouldn't really be a fair fight, as Rasputin top of the verse would most likely low diff the likes of Zeus, so doesn't really make too much sense to include him. Sumo, we do have his design revealed, but he hasn't appeared in the manga officially yet. He could have an interesting fight, but I think most people already expect him to be facing Apollo. Kintoki has appeared, but doesn't seem like a final boss fighter. I don't think he'll be weak in any way. I just don't think he's on the same tier as Zeus to be able to fight him and actually win. Same thing with Okita Tsuji, which leaves us with one more. Nostradamus, who predicts you subscribing to the channel for more Record of Ragnarok content. Hopefully he's right. So in his introduction, we get all of this. First up, Brunhilde claims that he's the most obnoxious man in all human history, something that connects strongly to the likes of Zeus and his character. giving the impression that it's unfortunate he's really strong. She does however threaten to remove him from the roster if he doesn't settle down. It was just Brynhilde trying to get him to calm down, don't look too deep into that if I'm being honest. With her being very clear that he's so strong, no one could really stop him, as if he was to be sent back to Helheim. He has the ability just to get out, even if it took killing the guards, so regardless of where they actually send him, he can just do whatever he wants, meaning his overall power is of course at the top. As we know, he destroyed the Bifrost, as such is extremely hated by the gods, once again another reason for Zeus to fight him. And then Brynhilde says this, which is the main reason. Upon asking whether or not it's his turn, she says, "No, your turn is still a long way off because you are our Joker." With all that in mind, it's very possible that Nostradamus could be the last fighter. She prepared him in the original fighting list. Upon his introduction, this is already in like the middle of the tournament, right before round 7 was to begin. She's still saying that his turn is a long way off, meaning she was most likely saving him for the likes of Zeus, the potential strongest god. So that's who I believe Zeus was meant to fight in the tournament if it wasn't going to be Adam, the potential second strongest or strongest character on the team, as Adam in my opinion still to this day is number 1 strongest human. Will Nostradamus surpass him? We'll have to wait and see. And I don't think it's going to be easy whatsoever. We may get statements from Zeus being like, "Oh yeah, Nostradamus, he's as strong as me, he's someone who could defeat me." But if you look at certain abilities that characters use in the series, Zeus still stands around the top. A fist that surpassed time is kinda just absolutely crazy. His Adamas form having punches that are considered one-shots. Then on top of that, in his Adamas form, he's able to spam the fist that surpassed time. He's not just stopping time, he's surpassing it. Out of all the abilities in the series so far, this is one of the most broken. This of course next to Adam's Eyes of the Lord, which so far is one of like 2 or 3 that could kind of counter it. We do have Sasaki with this panel, as I mentioned in like every other video at this point, and a few other things, but as a whole, Adam's Eyes of the Lord are the only solid thing that was a way around it. So considering what Nostradamus can really do, we may only be relying on certain statements from characters. I don't think there will be anything particularly stronger than a fist that surpasses time getting spammed. But that's everything for today's video guys, I hope you enjoyed. Check out the other stuff in the description for more Ragnarok content. Of course, join the Discord if you want to talk more about it. And of course, shout out to these mad lads who support the channel via the Patreon. You can do the same, link in the description. But that's it guys, peace.